Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today we're on the Battleship Wisconsin in Norfolk, Virginia, which is part of Nauticus Museum. And they've got a really great display here, minus the Christmas lights, that shows how Iowa-class battleships would receive fuel. The Iowa-class battleships were both designed to refuel their escorts while underway, but also to receive more fuel themselves. So this area right here is part of the permanent rig that would just be sitting out on deck for accepting fuel. And we know it's fuel because it's got the yellow painted wheels. Other fluids would be painted different colors. So this is specifically the fuel for the boilers as opposed to purple, which would be fuel for the aircraft, or red, which is firefighting, green, seawater, blah, 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 blah. We've talked about that in other videos before. So New Jersey has up to here, and then it's just blanked off. So what New Jersey's missing, but Wisconsin has, is the whole rest of the section here to receive the fuel probe. So this would be carried over on a wire, it would be tensioned, and the probe would go right in here. And when it does pop in here, it would knock this flag up to show that it's secured. And when we're done fueling, you've got a pelican hook here, which you can knock out, and that's going to release the probe so it can go back to the refueling ship. Another cool feature that you can see here is this deck riser indicator. As fuel is coming through this valve, for lack of a better word, it is going to be putting pressure on the deck riser indicator, which would cause it to pop up, thus showing that, yes, we are actually receiving fuel. So, also notice they've got the tripod rigged in the deck. You'll see these three metal brackets that just have like a notch, and it looks like it's for a giant screwdriver. Guests ask us all the time, what are those for? And they're in several places around the ship. And now you can see, because Wisconsin has one set up, it's this tripod to hold the receiving end for a fuel probe. On the other end of the process is a refueling probe like this one here. These would have a long length of hose coming out of the back of them. Usually about 300 feet total, although they come in sections that I believe are about 40 feet long. And so several of them just clasped together, all suspended from a boom. A carrier cable is sent across to the receiving ship, and then this is suspended from under the cable and run in, and it'll insert into the receiver end on the other side. Now, typically, things like these, or even like your electric plugs at home, the probe end that's being inserted is called the male end, and the receiver end is referred to as the female end. That's where the nickname for these probes come from. And then it's going to compress this, which is going to open up a gap around here that's going to allow the fuel to flow in, but it means that if something happens and this comes out, this will come back into place. It's not going to be spraying fuel all over the ocean. The Iowas spend so much time refueling ships earlier on their career that in the 1980s, when they're reactivated, they get a special refueling boom, the sort that's normally only carried by oilers and supply ships like that. So on the starboard side, they have this capability. I've talked about this in the past, but they also increase the rate of fuel that can be discharged from these ships, and they move the refueling station from up forward to back aft. The big issue there is the shape of the ship. It's very long and narrow at the bow, and then it bows out around the turrets, and then it's got relatively long slab sides. So that means if you're trying to sail parallel to another ship at the bow, the waves coming off of that long, narrow bow are pushing the receiving ship away from you. It certainly doesn't help that the receiving ship is usually significantly smaller and lighter, like destroyer-sized vessels. So, by moving it aft, where there's now a long run of flat side for the water to run, it usually is easier to refuel like that. That's honestly probably one of the most logical modifications that the Navy made to these ships, looking at their uses and the problems with it earlier on in their service life, and then finding the best possible solution without doing any severe modifications to the ship. So I really love the display that Wisconsin has with their receiving end all hooked up and ready to go. What are some other types of displays like that, of like those normal, happen all the time routines on the ship that museum ships should set up to show folks? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. Consider donating to support Nauticus Museum, who operates Battleship Wisconsin, at the link in the description below. Your donations allow them to continue to set up awesome and unique displays like the one that they have when receiving fuel. You can support Battleship New Jersey by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us and the channel. Thanks for watching.